Humphrey. We're back on Elephant in the Room, where we talk about what nobody else wants to talk about in the state of Oklahoma. We have a special guest, Matina Davis. Matina, great to have you today. And we also have Bobby Cleveland, the one and only Mr. Bobby Cleveland. Bobby, hey, Matina, before we start, me and Bob, we always got to talk about what's our pet peeve. And today, Bob, my pet peeve, I'm getting tired of going through these towns where the police gonna stop you for 2 miles an hour, or when you're watching and looking, you're looking right at your speedometer and it says you're going 35 and they pull you over and tell you you're going 45. You know, when the police is acting more like the criminals and using that badge to fleece their money off everybody, it chaps me off. What do you think, Bob?
Well, I agree with you. They use that money. If I guess if you did enough. Now, isn't there some type of a law that they can't it's supposed to be a percent of their total budget?
51% of the total budget. But the last one I had go down there, so I can't order an audit on any town, but I can order an audit on the police department, and they cannot write more tickets than it's like 51% of their total budget. And
Okay.
so I actually, Bob, on your old alma mater down there at Bochita, I
Yeah.
called in and they come back and said they didn't write more than 51%. And I told them, I said, well, I can tell you what you do. I would fire that auditor right now, because I can promise you they ain't worth the crap. Because I can guarantee you they're writing more tickets. When you got a town like Bochita that's got, you know, how many officers, 11, 12 officers, y'all, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's about all you need to know right there, how much you
They have 11 to 12 officers.
Oh yeah, I think they said the other day Colbert had, oh I forget, something like 11 or something like that. All these
Really?
towns got, you know what I'm saying? I mean, daggum. It's like
Well,
how many police?
they never pull me over. I go through their speed and everything all the time.
Well,
They
Bob,
never.
you drive 45 mile an hour on 65, so that's probably why they don't. But when they get you, Bob, it's gonna be for being on that phone and driving in the ditch. That's what they're gonna get you for.
Yeah, yeah,
Can I
Hey,
chime in with y'all pet peeve?
yeah.
yeah, throw it on us.
Okay. So y'all was talking about the police department. So I was in a meeting where the police was asking when they get pulled over, can they get more money? Something like the more you pull over, you get a percentage of that in your check. I don't know how they work, but sounded illegal to me. But
Yeah, it's a quota thing. Yeah, it would be illegal. If they're giving a percentage of the stop, that would be highly illegal, I would think. Somebody needs to check into that. Where was that
yeah,
at?
and the meeting that we went in, I go to all the meetings in Lawton. I try to go to
Right.
all of them. I record, so I have it on recording. It was something about they wanted some extra, like $10 for each ticket they get to go to their feet. I don't know. I just thought it was
No, I would say I'll have to look into that and see if that's illegal. So let's jump right on into your story. You have a very fascinating story, and that I think that the public needs to know, and we need to hear about. So you're a veteran. You have been in the National Guard. Were you in the Guard Reserve? Exactly what were you in?
I went into the Army Reserve. I did Army Reserve for a year and a half, and then I went in active 2 years. And while I was in Germany, I got diagnosed with cancer, and so I've been out. And I don't think cancer was the right diagnosis, but
Well,
it was
that's
something.
always good to hear. If you
Yeah.
get a bad diagnosis, that's what I got diagnosed with cancer. That's what before we came on, we was talking about that I've had my hiney cut off and that I've got a metal hiney. And so, anyways, that was what that was about. I got hit and hit, and ended up finding out I had cancer. And so, so you got diagnosed with cancer. So you went into reserves, got pulled up, shipped overseas, got a bad diagnosis, came back. Are you currently still in the reserve? Or are you currently?
I'm out. I got medically discharged. I stayed in the hospital for 6 months to a year. I had to learn how to use the restroom all over again by myself. eating, and I still and a lot of health issues going on. So I'm not cured, but
Was that something to do to your time in Army, or was that just something just that you
it, it
had got?
happened in it happened in the military because when you go in, you got to take that test and you pass all the tests, and then
Right.
it happened. But I was told that I got parasites from drinking out of a water bag. They had a water bag up, and it had parasites in the water, and it did something to my intestines.
Wow. Okay.
Don't know. It's
Oh,
just
I've
been
got I've got a friend that they're going through right now that they were exposed to chemical. In fact, Bob, we're gonna have him on pretty soon. Big lawsuit going on, and they basically told him no, no, wasn't anything. Well, now it's coming out. Yeah, okay, you did get exposed to all these chemicals, and oh, by the way, that chemical is causing all the health problems that you're having, and so they're still fighting the government to get those health covered and to cover all the expenses that they have medically and what it's caused him where he can't work and things like that. So big deal.
medication. It'd be the medication they put you on too, because I was on this white pill. It started with a Z, and I wasn't supposed to be taking it while I was pregnant. So my daughter was affected by the medication. She got health issues. So it's
Wow.
just a
Wow. So what started? So you had a legal process to where that they actually falsely arrested you, guys. Now you're going to have to hear her story because this is not what we think, or this is not possibly happened. This has happened. She's already been to court. She's already won in court. So just start us off. What started? If I understand you were in college or something and heard something and asked a question, and that's kind of where it all started, didn't it?
Yes, I was taking political science class, so I had to go sit in some meetings for a class assignment that we had. But I've been interested in politics for a while, so I didn't have no problem with that. So I started going to these meetings, just sitting quietly in the back, never would speak, never speak, just sit in the meetings and record. And they had an issue with me recording, but I knew that was my First Amendment right, and I know the Open Meetings Act, so I can record. I was at one meeting, it was at a city council meeting. I saw the CEO of Vista. Well, she had just hired herself off of Indeed. She put the job on Indeed, and she hired herself. She was
Okay, stop right there though.
qualified.
What's FISCA? What's FISCA? So everybody knows what FISCA is.
You don't know what Vista is? Vista is known nationwide, they say. I still don't know what it is, and I live in Lawton, but I'm just going
Okay.
by what Lawton government tell us. Vista is known nationwide. Vista is they bring in military jobs here, technology. They helping with like bombs and drones, and then now they got STEM hooked up to it for the students. So students they learning technology. So it's basically for military. It's for the military people. It's not for the citizens like they claim, because citizens can't even get a job there because you got to have military clearance. So it was all a big lie, my opinion, because I don't want to get sued for slander again.
Right.
My opinion. But I saw the city manager's wife. She walked up to the podium. She asked for $1 million to start Vista. At that time, the city manager was also the city attorney. He had dual roles. I'm looking. I'm following his contract. He's the city manager and the city attorney. Your wife gets up and asks for $1 million. You, as the city attorney, approved it. You, as the city manager, signed off on it. That made it a big conflict of interest. So I started asking questions. I was like, how's she up here asking her husband for the money? That's a conflict of interest. Somebody else supposed to be up here. Somebody else supposed to be up here when she go to the dice. And then they got upset because I started asking those questions. And that's all I did was ask questions. And then there was another city council person. She was the former city council person. She started harassing me. Every time I would go to a meeting, she would just walk up and approach me with men, just in my face for no reason. And she's not even my city council person. So I'm like, why are you always walking up asking me why I'm here? What am I doing here? Ain't these public meetings? These are public meetings. So I emailed all of my local government, the city council, the mayor. I emailed these people. I've been emailing them for a year about the former city council behavior towards me. She's always approaching me with men, and I have a problem with that because I've been raped before. So people don't know my background and what happened to me in the military. So I have a problem with you approaching me with different men. I have a problem. So I'm reaching out trying to ask, why is this woman approaching me with different men? Mind you, they never answered me. Never answered me. So it went on. I'm going to the meetings. I started this group called the Lawton Advocates. I got other citizens to come and we started going to meetings because I wanted them to actually see what I'm seeing. So we started going to different events. And it was January 2022. They had a STEM event at Cameron. Mind you, I was a student at Cameron as well. So I get to Cameron and I get there with three more concerned citizens. We get there and I walk up to my little cousin. She's a Xeno. And I said, can you take me around to the different stages so I can let the people know what's going on here at this event? She said, sure. So she taking me around to the different stages, telling me what's going on. They have a group of children sitting on some bleachers. Mind you, I take my phone and I go over the children. I could put the children on the video if I wanted to because it's a public event. But I go over the kids, and as I go over the kids, my phone make contact with Miss Kimberly Jones. Miss Kimberly Jones is the person that's over the event. I say, hey, Miss Kimberly Jones. She say, hey. And I continue to go on about my way. And when I get to the last stage, that's where the mayor is talking to the news. I hit the end button on my live. The councilwoman walks up to me with a tall man. Who told you to record? Who told you to record? And I'm looking at her. I said, this is a public event. She's still yelling. Who told you to record? I say, I'm not going to give you what you want. And I turn around and I start talking to my family members and the concerned citizens. And the concerned citizens was like, you're not going to do anything about this woman behavior? I said, what y'all want me to do? I already went to the mayor. I already went to my council members. They won't do nothing about it. I say, the only thing I know now what to do is go file a complaint with the police officers to have it on record that this woman continues to harass me. So I drive up to the police station with the concerned citizens. I get there, it's closed. I'm coming from Dallas, so Dallas Police Department wide open. So I called the non-emergency number, and they said, "What's going on, ma'am?" I said, "I want to make a complaint about harassment." They said, "Where are you located?" I said, I'm in front of the police department." "Well, we'll have an officer come to you." The officer come to me, and he gets out the car. He walk up to me. He said, "What's going on?" I tell him, "I just want to file a complaint. I don't want to press charges. I want to file a complaint and have it on record that I have been harassed by this city council person. And I already went up the chain of command, and I just want it on record, have it documented. I don't want to file no charges." His phone rings. He steps away from the car. He say, "Ma'am, I got to take this call." We can hear him in the back. Whoever he on the phone with is adamant about me pressing charges because the police officer say she don't want to press charges. I'm giving her this yellow piece of paper, and she has up to a year if she want to press charges. So he come back to the car. He give me the yellow piece of paper. We go on about our business. So that was on a Saturday. Monday, they had a FISTA meeting. So I went to the FISTA meeting because they had a FISTA meeting. In that FISTA meeting, it was some things that I didn't understand. Mind you, John Radcliffe, who was the city attorney / city manager, has an open door policy where you can come in and talk to him about any of the committees to get an understanding. So Tuesday, I went to John's office to sit down and talk to him about FISTA. When I got to the city hall, the city clerk named Miss Kathy said, "John is not there. We'll let him know you came by. We'll leave him a message." I always do a follow-up email when I entered the city hall to let them know what I was there for and who I was there to see. So I emailed John Ratliff and told him that I came by his office to speak. I came by his office, and Miss Kathy should have the information at the desk. I left it just like that, the email. I came by your office, she wasn't there, and Miss Kathy at the front desk should have all the information you need. The following Sunday, I get an email about 5 o'clock, which was strange to me. But I don't know, maybe city attorney / city managers emails constituents on Sunday. So I get an email. Matina, you came by my office, but are you aware that you filed the false police report and there's a warrant out for you because you filed the false police report? So I'm reading it. I'm like, what? So I didn't say nothing. I just emailed John back. I said, I came by your office to speak about FISTA. Thank you for the information. Left it just like that. So I'm wondering what I got a warrant for, because ain't nobody reached out to me. I ain't received no paperwork. None of that. So I'm not calling the police department or nothing. I'm not even worried about it, right? I'm just like, he said I got a warrant. The next week, I go to my mailbox. It's just a regular letter. Like, you know how you just send a letter? It's not even like coming from a government agency or nothing. It's just like a regular letter. Open it up. It's a letter in there from the court. You have a court date, February, I forgot what day it was, February something. Bring $750. You have been charged with filing a false police report. So you telling me already how much I got to pay for this crime and this and that, and you already said I did this. So I reach out and I get me an attorney. I got the Adler law firm. Todd was my attorney. Todd came down, first appearance. He went upstairs with Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum is the city prosecutor. Todd came back down and said, Matina, they don't have nothing on you. They building the case. They building the case on you. I said, what you mean they building the case? Yeah, they don't have nothing on you. They upset because you're talking about that FISTA. And they said they've been trying to get you because you've been talking. You've been talking about the city business. All of this is in the email that I'm saying that I can produce. They've been trying to get me because I've been talking about the FISTA and the city business. I keep talking about the RAD list. That's in the email from the city prosecutor's office. Your client keeps talking about the RAD list, and I want to put a gag order on her. And my attorney was like, she's not doing anything wrong. But they was building the case. So we have to go to court the second time. Get to court the second time. The judge, the regular judge, who I went into the first time, recused himself. He recused himself off the case. So now I'm sitting in front of an insurance adjuster.
How come he recused himself?
He didn't tell me, and my lawyer, that he recused himself. I'm just going by what my lawyer said. Maybe my lawyer knew, but what my lawyer told me is that he went on a vacation. We didn't find out that he recused himself until we went back on the third time, and we had an insurance adjuster sitting there. He's an insurance attorney, and he was sitting there. And my attorney said, are you going to be the judge on this case? He said, yes, I'm the new judge on this case because the other judge recused himself. And my attorney was like, we didn't know he recused himself because he said he was going on a vacation. He recused himself, and we need to get this case done now. So what y'all going to do? Because we're not going to keep prolonging this case. How much time you need, Rosenbaum? Rosenbaum said, I need a 3-day trial. And so the man said, okay, pick the dates and whatever. So I done paid my attorney. When he get close to the trial date, Rosenbaum was asking for my DD-214. I told my attorney, I said, I'm not giving Rosenbaum my DD-214. What do my DD-214 from 30 years ago have to do with allegedly filing a false police report? I'm not giving him my DD-214. He can have my veterans card.
What is that?
It's my
discharge.
Your
discharge papers.
Oh, okay.
And so my attorney said, why do you want a DD-214? This is in an email. I believe your client is not telling the truth, because back in, I can tell a fake DD-214. I've been in service for a long time. I'm decorated, and I can tell when people get fake DD-214s So I want to see her DD-214. I said, Todd, I'm not giving him my DD-214. I'm not giving it to him. Todd was like, well, I don't know. He wants your DD-214. I'm not giving it to him. We can go to court, and whatever happens, happens. I'm not giving him my personal business because my service connection from 30 years don't have nothing to do with this crime that they said I committed. I'm not doing it, Todd. So I said, okay. So once I didn't want to give Rosenbaum a DD-214, he dropped the charges at the local level. Mind you, I already paid $5,000 to my attorney. He dropped it. He walked it over to Kyle Quebec. Kyle Quebec put a warrant out for me.
Now, Kyle Quebec, he's a DA?
Kyle Quebec is the DA.
Right.
I didn't go to no probable cause hearing or none of that. I don't know. I didn't even know I had a warrant at the county. I did not even know that because my attorney told me that he spoke to Kyle Quebec, and Kyle Quebec was going to allow my attorney to walk me over on a Monday to go through the process. But I went to a council meeting on the Tuesday. I went up there with another concerned citizen, and he was arguing with a police officer. It was a police officer sitting at the front desk, badge 157. So I was recording them arguing because he went up there to go file a complaint on badge 157. Badge 157 say, you can file all the complaints you want. It's not gonna go nowhere. File all the complaints you want. So I'm just recording them going back and forth. So me and the concerned citizen, we leave and we go get in my car. Badge 157 comes to my car and tap on the window. Matina, you have a warrant for your arrest. I said, well, I want to see the warrant because I don't know nothing about it. You think this is the golden days? We don't have to show you the warrant. We just have to tell you you have a warrant and you get out. And I was like, about to get out the car, right? And then the other guy that was with me, that concerned citizen, he said, you need to see the warrant, Miss Matina, before you get out the car. So I'm calling my attorney on the phone. He's in badge 157 saying, we gonna call and verify that you have a warrant. And once I verify it, you got to get out the car, Matina. I said, okay, fine. So 15 minutes, they verify I got a warrant. They took me down to the city jail. Get to the city jail. The jailer say, what's she here for? Badge 157 say she got a warrant. Jailer say, what's her name? And he typing in the computer. Say, she ain't got no warrant here, man. And I said, it's coming. The jailer say, what you mean it's coming? I said, it's coming. Judge Swan gonna sign off on it. Watch. Judge Swan ain't gonna be on there. So another jailer come from the back. They all watching the computer, the thing coming through. Badge 157 standing over there on his radio. He talking to whoever and on his phone over there on the side talking. So we sitting there about 20 minutes. The little paper come through. The jailer pick it up. He say, bingo, it is Judge Swan. But she don't belong here, man. She belong in the county. So badge 157 look at me. He say, what you want to do? And I seen this in the movies all the time. I say, take me to my cell. So we drive over there to the county. I get processed in and whatever. And then that night, I had to go back out and do my fingerprints. And the lady said, you'll be out tomorrow because you're not even supposed to be here. Cal Quebec already said you're supposed to be released. So I get out the next day. Yeah, they embarrassed me and put me in jail without my medication because I'm on medication every day. I take medication for my health. And they threw me in jail. And then so after they threw me in
What
jail.
was Matina? What was the warrant for? I mean, was it for false report? Was that?
It was a warrant for filing a false police report. So we kept saying, what is false about the report? So one officer said that took my paper because I kept going up there asking him. I said, what is false about this report? He sits at the front desk. He's bald headed. His name is Husan. And he take the paper. He said, this is what you said. This is what your call fell under. He said, I don't know who said it was false. I was like, well, I got a warrant for a false police report. He was like, I don't know. Then I go and I talk to another officer. Another officer was like, well, the warrant is because you said Miss Johnson was in your face and she wasn't in your face. And I was like, well, I'm in the car, so I can't stretch my hand way out there because you got the mirror, you got the window right there. So they were saying the lie was that I said Miss Johnson was in my face, this close to my face. But my hand can't go out there. Miss Johnson shouldn't have never approached me when she put a protection order out on me. Why is she approaching me, right? That's the problem. This woman put a protection order on me because Rose and Bob told her to go do it. Put a protection order on me. So they try to bring that in as Burke's evidence, saying that I've been harassing Miss Johnson. Mind you, I never been to this woman's home. They said I was at her home on days I was out of town. They said I was at her home on February the 9th. I was in Vegas on February the 9th. Wouldn't that make her report false? Wouldn't that make her a false police
That would
report?
be a false report right there.
She did it 3 times. All the times that I were out of town and can prove it because my lawyers had the receipt and I video everywhere I go. She said I was at her home. I never been to this woman's
Did you go down? Did you go down and file a false report at the sheriff's department on that?
No. You think I'm gonna go back and talk to the same police?
Oh, I would have went down there and wrote up another report and said, hey, here's the deal right here's proof. Bam. If y'all filed it on me, go file it on them.
Well, let me get this one. The city prosecutor wrote a false police report. The city prosecutor wrote, I didn't even know Rosenbaum was trying to put another case on me. He wrote on his police report that I contacted Kim McConnell from the Lawton Constitution and told Kim McConnell I said he was disbarred. I didn't even reach out to the Lawton Constitution here in Lawton. I reached out to the head corporate office out there by Galveston and Houston and sent them that report where the reporter saying that they reporter said I said this. So they reached out to the reporter and everything. Come to find out, I never talked to Kim McConnell, which I know I didn't. Rosenbaum lied on the police report. Now the body cam footage is missing because on the police report it said this conversation with Rosenbaum is on body cam with the police officer. So why Rosenbaum has not been charged with filing a false police report?
Well, I'm going to stop you right there and tell our listeners, first of all, I've been around law enforcement a long time, 35 years. And again, for a public official to have you arrested because you said that they were up in your face, you went and made a report that they were up in your face, la-di-da all day long, who even pursues that? That's not even, you know what I'm saying? Typically what they do is they would go talk to her and they go talk to you. And then they'd say, well, she says this, you says this, we're not going to pursue charges. Or, even if they said, well, we'll take it to the DA, the DA is not going to, in any court will not pursue that typically. So that would have been, and now I'm not telling anybody who's watching that you don't go down there, because when you go down that police department to make that report, even if they don't act on it, it's a record. It shows a record of what they're doing. And then if they continue to do it, then you have that record and you establish. But for them to take action like that when you're the one filing the report, that is insanity. I mean, that is totally insanity. To take that out of the city and go over to the county, absolutely insanity. And then to pursue what you're talking about here and to lose the video, again, anytime that you see loss of video, when they're the ones filing it and they're the ones saying it's on video and then they can't find the video, guys, when you see that kind of activity, you know that they have weaponized their positions. They have weaponized the court system. And the thing that we're talking on here all the time about is this cabal. It's this group of people. So whether it be the city, whether it be the county, whether it be the DAs, they're all working together, and they all just, whatever this one says, whatever this, if we want charges, we'll get the charges. We'll make this go away. We'll make that go away. We're not going to listen to people and file charges, but we'll file charges. All of that is this big cabal. It's not just in Lawton. We're fixing to drop a big deal in Payne County tomorrow over all this. And what we're dropping tomorrow will have the entire Oklahoma government. I mean, practically everybody, court system, the whole 9 yards. But what I wanted to stop, and I didn't mean to break your story, but I just want people to understand that this kind of activity is beyond anything that ought to be happening in our court system. And when they can weaponize against anybody for going in and listening, and let's just go back to where you started this story. And when you say that a wife of the city manager slash city attorney, and again, I know that some of these small towns you have them having dual positions, okay? So you may have somebody on a council position that may act like the police chief or this one and that one. That's not totally unheard of as long as their positions don't conflict. But when you are the city manager slash city lawyer, those absolutely are going to conflict because you're making decisions over here and you should be watching out for the total legal process as a lawyer. So those are positions I wouldn't think that you could overlap. But to have your wife come in and make a request of the city for $1 million, that's a little funds. And then you're going to be the one making decisions on that. That is unreal. And what FISCA, is that the way you pronounce it, FISCA? The Financial Service Centers of America is what that stands for.
FISTA, fires. It's fires. It stands for fires and something else. Fire, it's not that. It's FISTA. FISTA.
Oh, FISTA. Okay, hold on.
It's fires. It's gonna say something else. It's a Tom Cole thing. It's FISTA.
Okay, FISTA, Forest Industry Safety and Training Alliance.
That's the one that they done changed the name. It used to be something else. It used to be fires, but they keep changing.
Well, that's what this would be. It'd be forest fire stuff, safety and training for forest is what it would be.
Okay, well,
training calendars, safety is what it's saying. But bottom line, what they're trying to do is get a grant through that is what they were trying to do.
Yeah, and now all the HUD money then disappeared. But that's another topic. But yeah.
So basically, you're down there to expose corruption, and they get mad at you, and they issue this warrant. Now, you would like to think that when that gets in front of a judge, he would kick that to the curb and say, this is ridiculous. So what happens after you get arrested and you go to court?
So we go to court. At that time, I was given a public defender. The public defender didn't even have a bar license. She didn't get her bar license until the day of court, but we kept asking for a dismissal. Judge Galber didn't do anything about it. They got my DD 214. Jag came to court. Jag had to come to my court to find out who pulled my DD 214. So that was done illegally, my DD 214. Judge Galber let it play out. Judge Galber sat on all three of my court cases: the protection order court case, the slander, and the filing the false police report. She was the judge on all the cases.
So they filed slander against you also. Was that a civil action?
Rosenbaum filed criminal charges against me. Rosenbaum was the one that put slander charges on me.
I didn't even know you could file slander charges as a criminal act. I didn't even know that was criminal.
He used the law it was written in 1902. It's still on the books in Oklahoma.
Well, you know what? I've got some people who slandered me, Bob. Man, I feel slandered. I feel defamation. Man, I got people talking trash about me that's so untrue. 1902. I'm going to write this down. 1902. Slander.
Yeah, they charged me with the law in 1902, right? But Rosenbaum was mad because I kept trying to figure out who badge number 9980 was. I kept going to the police department because that was on the ticket. The ticket I got, another lady got, and another young man got. Badge number 9980 was on this ticket. So I'm going to investigate to find out who badge number 9980. So the bald-headed guy that's sitting
Oh, we lost her,
So,
Bob.
so the bald-headed guy that's sitting in the front, whose son, I can't,
Who's
his name's whose son, he was like, he was, we don't have, I'm sorry, somebody's calling. We don't have
happens to
a
me all
badge
the time.
number 990. He said, where you get this ticket from? I say, it came in the mail from the municipal court. Well, you go around there and you ask them who badge number 9980 is. So I walk around to the municipal court and I ask who badge number 9980 is. The lady said, that's the city prosecutor's badge number. I say, so the city prosecutor can write tickets? And she just walked away. Because I never seen a prosecutor write tickets using a badge number. I don't know if y'all can do that in Oklahoma. I never seen it done in Dallas County. I don't know. But yeah, he filed slander charge.
I've been around for a long time. I ain't never seen a DA or a city attorney write a ticket. Nope.
Well, that he tried to charge me with slander because I said his badge number was 9980, but that's what was told to me at that courthouse, that was Rosenbaum badge number 9980. He also wrote another person a ticket, and he was the one who wrote it because he went to court, and it was that prosecutor who wrote the ticket. So Rosenbaum, you are using badge number 9980, and I'm telling the people. So yeah, I got charged with slander. And I was found not guilty. It was an all-day
So
trial.
you had to go to trial. Now, did you go to trial in the county on that?
County, DA, Cal Quebec. Rosenbaum, in my opinion, they friends. Rosenbaum and Cal Quebec. Rosenbaum was sitting in the sitting with the city manager the day I got arrested, and they was in there talking and stuff. I got it all on video because I have like 6 whistleblowers, and we just be around and we wear body cams. So they was conspiring this. I even have a young lady that told me that they was conspiring this. She was the witness on the case against me. But then after she found out they put her on the case to be a witness, she was like, I'm not going to lie for them people. And then so she told. But they threw me in jail because I'm talking and I'm still talking. So I had 3 cases. Protection order, filing a false police report, slander.
Okay. So when you went to the protective order, did they issue a protective order or did they dismiss it?
So it was dismissed, but it was like the judge wrote it. I can't get my money back I can't sue the city council person. But mind you, the city council person used legal aid. Legal aid office was closed to the public during COVID. She got legal aid in 3 days. She sat on the board. So how's you using legal aid? That should be a conflict of interest. How are you going up there getting legal aid and the citizens can't get legal aid? They told me if I go to the legal aid office, I was going to be arrested again because I was going up there to the legal aid asking how the councilwoman got legal aid, and it's closed to the office. It's closed to the public. Y'all not even helping the
So if
citizens.
you go ask the public, city council, how they're paying for something, which is your right. I mean, it's open records. It's paid for by government. So you can go ask any question you want. But they told you if you went and asked a question, they would rearrest you. And you got to believe that they possibly would because they already arrested you on 3 different or charged you with 3 different acts and arrested you on 2, I think.
Right.
So did you go to jail twice or did they just include all that in one?
I went to jail once. I physically inside, fully dressed. I was in the cage for 24 hours. Right. Then I had warrants for the slander. So I went back. The judge said she ain't got to go through the process. She ain't got to go turn herself in. So,
right.
Yeah. So I had 2 warrants for my arrest, but I went to jail for the false police report.
So where you had an attorney when you first started. What happened to your attorney? Did he quit you along the way, or?
Well, he won the protection order case, and he the one who gave me all the information about the legal aid, gave me, how much it costs, and all that, gave me paperwork to put in the record, and the judge was getting upset about that. And he did the protection order. We won that one. Then I got another attorney for the slander. He won that one. But the false police report, I was given a public defender. And the public defender told me she couldn't object in trial because the city manager came to my trial date. and got on there and said a bunch of hearsay about me. I heard she was a bully. I had to go to the meeting because she was a bully and she did this and she did that. But mind you, I got videos every time I go to the meeting and I never talk. But the judge didn't want to see my videos. And then the judge ordered me to go find videos to incriminate myself. And I'm like, Your Honor, I don't have videos like that. I don't have no videos of me being at this woman's house. And you want me to go find videos to incriminate myself, Judge? Then she wanted me to go get my husband's bank account. And I said it on the stand. You want me to go commit a crime, Your Honor, because I'm not on my husband's bank account to get his bank information. I'm not going to do it because I can't go get his bank information. Y'all the one say I make too much money. Y'all the one in my bank account. So I can't go get my husband's information and I'm not going to do it. So she was like, all right, don't worry about it. And then she allowed the city prosecutor to come to the protection order case. And while I'm on the stand, the city prosecutor got up and yelled, she's a liar, and ran out the courtroom. Judge Gobber didn't do anything. We all looking to see if Judge Gobber going to say something to this man standing up yelling, I'm a liar. And why you here, Rosenbaum? Why are you at this court date? Why are you up here? It seems like you're harassing me because now you at the protection order, standing up in the gallery yelling, I'm a liar.
So you got found guilty on the on which one? Because you had to go to an appellate court, right?
I was found guilty on filing a false police report because the closing arguments and stuff was not even about filing a false police report. They made it about me filming children, and I never filmed children. And then when he got to the Supreme Court, they said they didn't even have no evidence to even bring this case up. The police officers got on the stand and said, we did what we were told to do. We didn't do an investigation. The man that signed, Detective Dusty Johnson, said he didn't do an investigation. He only did what he was told.
So the officers got on the stand and said that, you know what, we've got a similar case there in Payne County, and I got to say those officers, in fact, when they came and arrested the guy, two of the officers turned off their video cam and was talking to his wife, and I know that because I was on the phone with her, so I listened to the entire conversation, and they apologized. They said, hey, we apologize. What's going on here is not right. We're having to follow orders, and this is not right, and we do not like being a part of this. And so again, if that ever goes to court, not only I don't remember if she recorded it, if she had it on recording, but I absolutely heard them say that. So I mean, it's just unreal that a lot of times you'll have good police officers that are just being ran by this cabal, like I say, a cabal that you have the judges, the DAs, and your city officials running these kind of things. And anybody that has the audacity to question or to do their due diligence, you have a right to take that. You know what I'm saying? There's no problem with what you were doing. And for them to get mad, I mean, I understand they may not like it, but that's too bad if they don't like it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like it, resign.
They have the police officers sitting out in front of my house every day. I would wake up, police is sitting out there. I'll back my car up and record them. It was an intimidation tactic, I guess they was trying to do. But yeah, when the police officers got up there and said, we only did what we was told, and one officer said, I gave it back to Rosenbaum. I saw the case. I gave it back to Rosenbaum. So this was all Rosenbaum's doing because Rosenbaum even said he don't like me and he been trying to get me. Then when he got on the stand for the slander case, he told the people I was ignorant. She's ignorant. He just was very disrespectful the whole time. And the judge did.
So have you talked about a lawsuit against the city? Have you looked into that at this
time? Mm-hmm. My attorney is looking into that. Yeah.
I would think you would have a possible civil suit, especially, I mean, if they throwed out the protective order, if they throwed out the slander and, that overturned on, if it's a false arrest and it was, and it looks like you ought to be able to turn that back around. Hey, Bob, you're being really quiet, sir. You're scaring me a little bit.
Well, I'm just trying to take us all in. You're good at it, JJ. You understand all that. But I don't know. I'm just listening and just see what you said. Now, did you get any money along the way? Any of these lawsuits? They paid back.
I had to use my own money to get my attorneys, but I haven't got any money from the city yet. My attorney is researching the
So so you had to pay an attorney $5,000 at first. Have you had to pay any more on that? Okay.
I paid $5,000 for the filing of the police report. I paid $3,000 for the slander case, and I paid $3,500 for the protection order. Yes, I paid.
So you've been out $11,000, $12,000 attorney fees. Did you get a bond? Did you have to pay?
I got a bond, OR, $1,000.
You got OR bond. Okay. For our listeners, OR means on recognizance, and it means on your word that you'll come back, so it doesn't cost you anything. But you still had to go to jail.
I went to jail, and then also I want to let y'all know that the city manager / city attorney or the local government had hired Triangle Security to follow me around in the city hall. I was being followed. I was on the elevator with two men with a gun. And these are security people to follow me. Like I was a problem at the city hall. So I had to get somebody to come out, an auditor to come out and witness this stuff. Because people thought I was crazy when I was coming to tell them. I even went to the attorney general office. He did nothing about it. I went to the FBI. They did nothing about it. Nobody did anything before it even escalated to this point. I went to all of these people and nobody done nothing. But I ended up in jail, all across the newspaper. I got all kind of mug shots. I got 2 mug shots to be exact. One from the city, one from the county. And then I have children. Then they made the city manager's wife. I went to the police about the hate group. She was sending invitations out. Inside that hate group they made about me, they wanted to knock me off and kill me, but nothing happened. Nothing happened. And this is the city manager's spouse sending out the invitations to this group. They talking about me because they were mad at me for talking about the fifth stuff. But I didn't get no help.
And here's what I want to tell our listeners. First of all, we can get a lot of stories, and I think Bob can back me up on this. We get all kinds of stories. I get probably, and I'm not over exaggerating, I get anywhere when you say text messages, phone calls, messages, emails, I probably get anywhere over 200 to 300 a day, and I'm not over exaggerating. Okay. And it's just hard to keep up. And I get reports after reports after reports kind of on stuff like we're talking about. And I don't doubt that a whole lot of them are true. I mean, I just don't doubt at all that a lot of the stuff I'm getting is true. But here's the deal. We can't go forward unless we can verify. So Matina is here, and we've got Matina on because, again, what we're looking at is that she has won in court on her protective order. She has won in court on slander, and she has won and had to go all the way to get it appealed. And that was the Supreme Court, or is that appellate court? Which one did you get to?
Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. Okay, so they overturned it. So again, here's where we're at. It's not maybe we think that there was some problems. We know that there was some problems because it all got kicked out. But we also know that there's problems because I have been in a law enforcement status 35 years. I've never heard. In fact, I just wrote that down on the slander, was joking. Oh, I got to get this because I've never heard of that. How, public officials, and Bob, you know this, man, we had a great attorney friend who actually won one case on a legislator being slandered, a slander suit. I've never heard of a criminal charge, but you know how difficult it is on slander against any public official, and to file criminal charges on that person and then to go and have that kicked out. It's huge. I mean, the stuff that we're talking about, and when you're saying that, you filed a false report. If I go over and say, well, you were in my face, and you say, no, I wasn't in your face, well, what classifies as in your face? Now, I think we can all agree if I'm standing 2 inches away from you screaming and holler at you, I think we all say that's in your face. But if I'm standing back there asking you questions that are legal and lawful questions, or if I'm just standing back there filming, guess what? All of that is legal to do, and that's not in your face. That's just legal. So it sounds like that's what you were doing. And again, how do they charge you with that? And then to move it from the city to the county, and the county pick that up, and a judge not throw that out, it's unbelievable. I mean, this story is unbelievable.
Can I tell y'all something else that's unbelievable? I
Go
want to
ahead.
know why. I want to know why the commissioners want to pay for my expungement. I'm just gonna put it out there because I'm confused. I'm confused. I just don't understand.
So the county.
Where was y'all when I went to y'all for help?
Well, I will tell you this: there's not very many people. Most people don't want to get crossways. I can tell you right now, in this still Payne County, I will probably be the only legislator filing on that. And everybody's like, I laugh. I have so many people. Oh, he's doing that for political purposes. He's trying to do that for political purposes. And I'm like, well, let me see. I've been doing it for 9 years, but I've been kicked out of my chairmanship twice. I can't file a bill. They won't even let me file a bill. So how is that helping me political? You know what I'm saying? When you stand up and you stand up against this cabal, and it's not just the judges, it's not just the cities, it's not just the DAs, it's the Oklahoma government, it's the AGs, it's the whole process. It's a whole kit and caboodle. And when you stand up to that, guess what? This is the kind of stuff. That's why people don't stand up. Is people are scared. They're taking people's kids away. They're filing charges on people. They're putting them in jail. The guy that we got down there at Payne County, they put $1 million bond on him. He's spending $75,000 trying, because he went in and reported that his kid had been assaulted. We had a grandma report, kid been assaulted. And guess what? They end up arresting grandma. These are the things that we're talking about. We got victims that are having to go hire lawyers to go get justice. Why would you have to, if you were raped, why would you have to go hire a lawyer to try to get the DA to prosecute somebody? These are insane.
And then as we can go back to the cameras in the courtroom, because I know you were talking about that. We do need them cameras in the courtroom, because like my transcript, I had to let the Supreme Court know that the transcript that they got, that's not the incorrect, that wasn't the correct transcript. So the Supreme Court had to send an order back to get everything that was submitted at the time of trial in the correct transcript.
Well, here's where I'm at. As a law enforcement officer, they want you to wear a can. And I will tell you, a lot of times out there, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? When you drive up to a domestic, or you drive up to a scene and people are mad at you and they're screaming. And so that's a pretty chaotic situation. And you want me documented on how I handled, right out there, not time to think about it, no time to do it. You want to see me make immediate choices and handle this crazy chaos. You want all that to be on film. Now, you don't want on film a courtroom that should not be chaotic, that is scheduled, that you have all the documents. This thing should be organized. It should be no chaos. Why would you care if that's anything else? You want it recorded, and it's being recorded. There's a recording in there. So why should they just have access to the recording? Why shouldn't the public have access to the recording and have an exact, document that says exactly? And again, I don't think that that's going to do away with transcripts, because transcripts are getting, they're putting it all in writing, and they're even getting down something that may be missed on camera. They're going, hey, JJ was sitting over at that table. I just had paid for one the other day, and I got it, and I was impressed that they were writing while this guy was saying something, I was over nodding my head up and down as to say yes. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know if they said yes, but nodding my head up and down or shaking my head back and forth, to say yes or no. And they caught all of that. And so I don't have a problem with transcripts, but here's the deal: transcripts cost a lot of money. We don't have enough people to do the transcripts. They're always behind. If we had a video, a lot of stuff. I paid for that transcript, and you know what I needed out of that transcript?
But
2 lines. I needed just to show that judge had said that's not because what we said, well, Judge, you certified this, and the board never met. How are you going to certify it when the board never met and it has to be board certified? And he said, not my problem. And we needed that because I went back and got the board, said, you ever meet? Did you review? Did you certify? They wrote me back and said, never met, never reviewed, never certified. And then he kicked it out saying it was certified. Well, that's a pretty big violation. So I needed that on a transcript. So here I'm having to pay to get the entire transcript so I can have 2 lines where if we had it on a video, I'd have it for free. You know what I'm saying? So again, and then that person, of course, they got paid for it, but then she had to completely transcribe all of that for 2 lines. And again, they're behind, they're backed up, they're logged back. Why are we doing all that? Why not put a video in there? I think that it should have video.
Well, Matina, how where you stand at today? How many lawsuits did you win?
I won all of them.
How many is that?
3.
You won 3.
Well, not lawsuits, criminal charges.
Criminal
She had filed. She's thinking about filing a lawsuit now.
Oh,
Bob. Yeah.
No, I haven't filed any lawsuits yet.
Right. She's won criminal charges. So they filed 3 criminal charges on her: protective order, slander, and false arrest or false statement. And she's won all of them. And one she had to take all the way to Supreme Court, but she won in. Which shows that means everything they said was they were the ones filing the false reports. Somebody ought to, you need to write that up and take it down there and say, Mr. DA, you really like these false reports. How about filing on them? And while you're there, why don't you file one on yourself?
So I went back and I did when they Rosenbaum witnesses, which was his friends. It was a therapist and the Comanche County chairman wife. They went down there and filed a report saying I slandered them, but Kyle Quebeca didn't pick that up because I never slandered them. They had videos all about me, but it was just so funny. You picked up Rosenbaum and all 3 of these people said I slandered them, but they were slandering me, just like Rosenbaum was slandering me, saying I was a fake veteran. Nothing happened. So I did follow up to press charges on the people that went down there and wrote false police reports. They did nothing. I also wrote a report to the legal aid. They told me that they don't have to answer no questions because they don't fall under the Open Meetings Act. So I got that. So I got to finish, catch up on writing my letters to respond to that. Nobody don't want to do anything. They was coming after me, and now that I'm turning it around trying to get justice from them, they just...
Now, who said they don't have to answer to the Open Meetings Act? Who told you that?
The legal aid.
Legal aid under what policy number? What made them be excused from being responsible for the Open Records Act?
They say they private. That's what the letters say.
Yeah, it's private, and again, that's your private case. So again, I could see where that possibly would be. So if I'm a legal aid, you come to me and I'm handling your case, and Bob wants to know what's going on in your case, I say, Bob, that's a private case. I'm her attorney, and that's guarded under confidential information. So I could see that, they may have a legitimate claim there. But the big issue, and we're already at 4:00, so we've already been on here. We're going to have to shut her down. So in closing, the big issue, this is what I want our public to get, is that, guys, our court system has been hijacked and weaponized. And again, these public meetings are That's why we have these laws. That's why we have these things public, so that the people, the government answers to the people. And when the government starts arresting people who have the audacity to ask questions or who wants to come in and film that, that is our right. That is the public's right. That's what holds these people accountable. And when they start arresting people who are trying to hold them accountable and falsifying arrest and falsifying information, they're the ones doing something illegal. All of that is illegal. And again, we're coming here and we're having this conversation because this is not maybe we think. These are cases that have been won. She has had to go through the entire process. She has won all the way to Supreme Court. She's won 3 cases so far. And again, she had to go to jail to try to make a question, just a question, is it right for a wife of a prosecutor, a city prosecutor / city manager, is that a conflict for them to be trying to award $1 million on some kind of grant process? And I think I would say most definitely, I would think that it's a conflict, and it's certainly a reasonable question. It's certainly a question that deserves an answer, and it's certainly not a question that ought to land you with 3 court cases, going to jail and having to spend money, $12,000 and years to prove that you're actually, what did that take you, 2 years?
2 years.
2 years. Yeah. So again, she spent 2 years fighting this process. Hey, I want to tell you something. I appreciate you very much. It's going to take all of us. It's going to take people like you to win back. We've got to take back our government in Oklahoma, and that has to start with the court system. Guys, if we don't have a fair court system, it's not about Democrat, Republican. That lady has a blindfold on because you are supposed to be able to go get justice, whether you're rich, poor, whether, skin color, gender should not matter. Your political preference should not matter. We should have fairness in a court of law. She got fairness. It took 2 years and it took a lot of money, but fairness would go after the people who lied and falsified all the information on her and who have not. Again, these public officials are supposed to be public, so those are open record violations as well. So they're violating all kinds of laws, and it's time that people in Lawton need to stand up and get behind Matina and again go after your government there and declare they're going to have to take these people and hold them accountable. That's what I want to encourage people in the Lawton area, and that's what we're going to try to do come tomorrow in the state of Oklahoma down in Payne County. So, guys, hey, I appreciate you, Matina. Bob, appreciate you very much. We'll see y'all next week. Have a great day.